Good morning to all of you. I'm standing here as promised in peaceful protest. I'm announcing that I'm here as an individual, peacefully standing for the Guyana Police Force, standing for those who are being forced to go to a vaccination center, or they lose their livelihood, or they lose their ability to earn, to be gainfully employed without duress. I am here, as promised, all the way from Linden, to stand, which is my democratic right as a citizen of Guyana, to stand with those people who I'm seeing there having to go to a vaccination center. I am here to stand for all of you. I'm here to stand for the employees who were told yesterday or the day before yesterday and before that unless you're vaccinated, you're going home. I'm here to stand for those of you in the private sector who may own your business and you've been operating at 40% for so long. And now you're told you must still operate at 40%, but in this case, 40% of fully vaccinated people, when we know that there's not even enough vaccines for everybody. I am standing here in grief, which is why I'm wearing my colors symbolizing what they say is grief. I'm standing here in pain for my fellow brothers and sisters in this country who have to endure instructions that are totally draconian in nature. Police officers in the Guyana Police Force, I hope that you can see me as you would, and I hope that you... Where is that? Where? Right here? Okay, so I'm hearing now that somebody... Okay, so somebody is saying here right in front of the Ministry of Public Health, the workers are being denied entry. Imagine public health. Guyanese, I want you all to understand my grief. I want you all to understand my grief. In the front of the Ministry of the Public, of the servants in the public health sector who worked throughout the pandemic without vaccines are now being turned away from the place of employment and told the salary will be cut. How is this caring? How can this be a caring set of people doing this to their people? If you're saying that you're not forcing vaccination on people, then why are workers being sent home if they're unvaccinated? I am appealing to those of you in government. I came all the way to Georgetown to appeal to you. This has to be better approached. There has to be a better approach to this. This is unjust. If you are a worker and you're afraid that you lose your job so you can't stand, I'm standing for you. If you're a police officer, you're afraid that you lose your job, I'm standing for you. If you're a manager and you're afraid that you lose your job, because I understand some of you all have mortgages to pay, you have car notes to pay, or we would say your installments and stuff, I understand that. I understand that, so I'm going to stand for you then. Again, for those of you who are monitoring this broadcast, I am standing here in peace, which is my right as a citizen of this country. As an individual, I'm standing here because something is wrong. I stand for every police officer. How can you tell people who work in the Ministry of Public Health, who have put their life on the line for Guyanese, for you as well? How can you tell the very people who stood to protect you that this morning they are not allowed to go into their place of employment? This is unjust. I stand for you employees. I stand for you all. And I stand with a principle in mind that it is their body, it is their choice. I am not standing here to say that people should not take a vaccine. I want that to be clear. I'm standing here to say that according to the World Health Organization, you are supposed to give the people a choice. That's all I'm trying to tell you. It is unjust. How can you tell the persons who served you at the Ministry of Public Health for over a year, over 1 year, how can you tell the same people that they have to now go home and get it, the salaries cut? That is unfair. It is unjust and it's wrong. What is worse is that it's an insult to my intelligence system that you're not forcing anybody, but they wouldn't be paid. I stand for you. I continue to stand for you all. I'm saying here again that I'm standing in absolute grief this morning. I cannot understand that we have human rights associations in this country and persons are prepared to just operate as if it is okay to trample on an individual's human right. Where is the international community now? I stand for every one of you. I stand for you. I don't care what party you represented. I stand for you because something is wrong in this country. Have you considered that recently the prices for because of the flood, of course, the price of food items for basic groceries, the price for vegetables and fruits skyrocketed? Have you forgotten? So persons would have had to spend their last probably just to get meals to eat. And today when they come to work, you tell them to go home. Some persons' finances have been exhausted because of the flood and the prices that hit both the market of food vendors and stuff. Good morning, gents. Have we forgotten that there's a drastic increase in the cost of living? It is nothing that has me extremely upset with y'all. Is when I would hear a young man from the Ministry of Public Health say that he's being sent home. This, you are beyond ungrateful. This is not a private sector employee, and you understand the pay scale of these people. You know what they earn. How can they afford 3 PCR tests when you said, Mr. Frank Anthony, that it costs 20,000 plus Ghana dollars, $100 US? You said.
Can't go get the free one either.
You said you can't show up to the free testing that y'all said. You established so that people can be tested readily in Guyana. Now suddenly your employees can't be tested. Is there not a reason for Guyanese to be upset with you? Yeah, I stand here. I stand for everyone who can't stand for themselves. I stand for you police officers as well. For all of you. And I said before, I say it again. The police will never be my enemy in this. Because they understand it's bigger than them. If they have to do whatever, they let them do it. Our government should never do this to citizenry. Especially when the World Health Organization issued with me. You can come, that's fine. I'm here. I'm standing for you, like I said, so you're free to talk. I'm doing well, thanks. And you?
We just got
Thank you. You came to secure us, you said? To protect us?
No, it's your right to protest, so put it there.
Okay. So you're here to protect me then?
Always protect us, sir.
I appreciate you, and I must say to you that I stand for you, my brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I appreciate that the Guyana Police Force and the members thereof, as I said, I will never be an enemy of the police. There's a cause in Guyana, man. Something is wrong. People were posting memes on Facebook that shell out cost $50, $100 for a little bundle, and Bora price went up and stuff like that morning. Now how can you tell me that after all of this? We haven't recovered economically from the famine, from the flood. But you could send home healthcare workers. All right, let's bar everybody else. I'm talking about the healthcare workers here. How can you send home a healthcare worker this morning when they served you without vaccines? That is my issue, and it will always be my issue. The people you called heroes, the police officers you said were frontline workers, now they're villains? Because they simply have the right to exercise a human right. It is their body, their choice. This is not about abortion alone. I am peeved and I'm hurt.
Folks, if you're now joining us, we are coming to you live from the public square. Protesting women, and I want to get a bit of word from you, Pastor. I know persons were looking at your live
Sure.
in Linden, and it ended when you went into the police station. Any update on what was said to you?
Sure. Well, in keeping with my principles,
Yeah.
I promise that what I shared with them in private, I would not be
Okay.
eagerly willing to share publicly. But I can say the result of it was that we had an understanding that it's my right to have expression publicly, and it's my right to stand in protest to express how I feel about a matter. It's also my right to do so peacefully. When I inquired whether I was in breach of any of those rights or laws, I was told no. Therefore, it resulted in my returning to where I had to be. But I will continue to stand even if my rights would be infringed upon, because there has to be a cause. There has to be a cause. So I stand for everyone in this country who hasn't the ability to come out here and stand for themselves.
Okay. So you're allowed to continue.
I'm allowed to continue. I'm allowed to continue, and I appreciate your being here, and I'm here to continue this what is now a struggle, actually. I find it difficult to even verbalize, to say that there's a struggle for me as a human being, as an adult, to say what enters my body. And what's further concerning to me is that there's a struggle for me to understand from a government that if something happens to me, adversely in reference to the vaccine, there is no liability. When the World Health Organization said that if you're going to mandate vaccination, you have to have some degree of insurance to the citizenry. There is none announced by this government. I have an issue with that.
Right, so you want to be a person, you know that
I stand for you all. I stand for all of you who are sent home today. The Maritime Administrative Department, I stand for you. How can you tell a public servant, where are the unions? How can you tell a public servant that unless they accept the vaccine, they are not going to be paid? How can that be not deemed forceful vaccination?
And it is accompanied by the private sector actions.
And the private sector doing the same thing.
And, you know, in support of the mandatory, you know, vaccination, they are forcing persons who have to use their establishment.
Yes.
So, you know, it's from all angles. So persons are feeling, I know, I can share this with persons who have called me also. They share that they are feeling like they don't have a choice.
None. None is given.
Yeah. This idea work. One organization said, the PS from the ministry, I'll call the name, the Ministry of local government told their workers that you have until Monday to choose if you take the vaccine or you get the job.
This is wrong. Guyanese, this is not even a political matter right now. This is not about party lines right now. This is about your lives and your right as a human being that's being disrespected. I am not here to say that I'm against vaccination. I've never said that. I'm here to say that if the World Health Organization, the FDA, PAHO, and everybody else say that vaccines are for emergency use, as the FDA said, then respect it as emergency use then. Don't treat me as if I have a right to do something that has not yet been fully approved. And you're saying to me that you have no liability. Beyond all of that, I maintain with much passion today that if the healthcare workers that served you are treated this way, well, who else? What else do you do to the average person?
We're going to have issues when school reopens also. So
Now, of course, because the teachers, I'm telling you all, whoever decides that to be quiet when your human rights are trampled upon, you will lose the right to be human when in the eyes of those who do it to you. You must never, as a Guyanese, be quiet when people trample on your human rights. Do not do it. There's no amount of money that you can pay me to allow you to trample on my human rights. Do not do that. It is wrong. You telling a taxi driver, after the president said, and I'm here, Mr. President, I told you already, you want to have a conversation with me, I'm free to have one with you. After you said, as a leader of a country, that everyone who is unvaccinated is more dangerous than a vaccine, you tell the taxi drivers to an order in the Ministry of Health, from the Ministry of Health, that the taxi driver must be vaccinated, but he can carry unvaccinated people?
yeah.
So why must he carry those who are worse than a vaccine in his car? What are you already saying to people? There has to be a cause. This is wrong. You can't tell me that you'll take away a speedboat operator's license to function because he's doing what you want. And in the same breath you said that you're listening to the experts because apparently you aren't. So okay, let's accept that. You're not the experts in this situation. You didn't manufacture the vaccine. The experts told me that they have to reconsider what they said initially, which is that you can remove the mask if you're vaccinated. The experts said no, because we discovered that in Massachusetts, for example, 75% of the fully vaccinated population were infected. So they said, okay, recalibrate, put your mask back on. You in Guyana, who are not experts, are telling me that a man must drive his car with somebody who's a threat to his well-being, or you take away his license and all the rest of it. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. I am not here on a political mission. I'm here on a mission of human right. I am concerned. I have children. I cannot live to see my children experience a nation that is this draconian in its leadership. Something is wrong in Guyana. What is even more ironic, if you want to say that, is that today is the anniversary of the death of Lyndon Frog Sampson Burnham that you said is the dictator. He never did this. Now quote me for saying that. There is no record of this being done to people in Guyana. This is the first time that as a 47-year-old man, I'm being told that my fellow brothers and sisters who simply said that, okay, we don't believe that we should take a vaccine, you tell them go home and you won't get paid. I stand at the square of the Revolution for a reason. In this square. For a reason. To symbolize that I will have a revolution. Me alone. In my position. Because the slave owners own slaves. They own their body. They did what they wanted. Is that what I'm experiencing now? I am concerned. Are we going to continue to strip the rights away of our citizenry? Are we going to just remove the rights of people continually? because there's no aggressive reaction of some sort. We are a peaceful people, isn't that what the song said? So okay, then we're peaceful. And we have an issue with what you're doing to us. So what you'll do, you'll harass us then? Give people the right to choose. I am standing here because there are police officers who cannot stand here. There are nurses who cannot stand here. There are doctors who can't stand here. There may be members of parliament who can't stand here. There may be persons in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Health who cannot stand here. So whoever cannot stand here because you have your bills to pay, I'm standing here for you. If you own a business and you can't come here because something happened to you, I'm standing for you too. I stand for every Guyanese brother and sister. I stand here for you. I said it last time on a live broadcast, I'll repeat it in Georgetown in person. If the police officers come to arrest me, I still stand for you. Because you're not going to be my enemy. If a magistrate has put me in jail, I stand for you too. Because all y'all have to do your work. So let me do mine then. Something is wrong. As I stood here this morning, I was greeted by an individual who went to work at the Ministry of Health and was told to go home. He served the country during the, well, we still have a pandemic. When there was no vaccine, he wasn't told to go home. Nurses worked at the Infectious Disease Center. Nurses worked at different locations throughout Guyana. You didn't tell him to go home without a vaccine. They were heroes. You said that APNO FC mishandled the nurses and the public health workers. Is this how you handle them now? I am upset. And if being upset is a crime, then jail me for being upset, because you are wrong to your people. Reconsider what you're doing to Guyanese. This is wrong. You remove soldiers from colleges and from places of education. They're seeking to improve. The UN said you have a right to life. The people are making an effort to improve themselves, and you would tell them to leave a college if they don't want to be vaccinated. You refuse to promote them because of a vaccine. This is wrong. And I will continue to stand. If you are from the PPP Civic and you're scared to come out, I stand for you too. All y'all. It is your choice. I have researched all of the World Health Organization guidelines and advisories, and none of them speak to forcing people to take a vaccine if you're not going to be held accountable for what happens to them. I'm asking the government of Guyana to address that. The advisory is that if you're going to vaccinate anyone and you deem it to be mandatory, you are supposed to at least have some insurance in place to cater to some adverse reaction. You have none. What you have is a threat. I am further concerned when the Minister of Health will say that persons who are talking about human rights, if you die, how much rights do you have? Hold on. So are you permitted as a minister to be that disrespectful to me as a person? Did the United Nations say that you have a right to disregard my right in the name of vaccination? No, they did not. To all of you Guyanese who believe that it's okay for this to happen to you, I have also seen that the US said they're considering the same option you want to give them, whereby you have to be fully vaccinated to enter the country. Sputnik is not FDA approved. So I do not see you being accepted in the US with the Sputnik vaccine or AstraZeneca. So what are you doing if you took Sputnik then? Are we considering the far-reaching effects? We have teachers who taught common entrance classes, the National Grade 6 class. Teachers who went for over 1 year to teach your grade 10 and 11 students, to prepare them for the examination. You said it was okay for them to go to school and wear a mask and sanitize. When the exams are over now, you're telling them that it is irresponsible of them to not be vaccinated? Is that how you reward persons who were free during the pandemic? Is this the reward system that I'm going to experience? I stand for all of you Guyanese. All of you who may be afraid to or unable to stand for yourself. I stand for the mother or to the grandmother, the grandfathers, who cannot go to the post office today or whenever it is to get their pension without proving that they've been tested or without being fully vaccinated. I'm not hearing anybody saying that you're going to examine persons medically first. You're not doing that. You are totally evading all guidelines here, all advisories, and you're saying to people, you want to reach herd immunity, get a vaccine. Please let it be on record that biologically speaking, vaccination is not the only way to achieve herd immunity. I'm begging you Guyanese, I'm begging you all taxi drivers, for once in history, stand up for your right. This is wrong. Listen. If you're a public service employee or private sector employee, I'm asking you this morning, please type on this broadcast whether you were told that you'll be compensated fully if you're a police officer. Please tell us right here whether anyone from your office told you that you'll be fully compensated if something were to happen to you. That's what I want you to tell me. Please tell me that. If you're a taxi driver, a minibus operator, speedboat operator, please tell me whether they told you all that you'll be fully compensated should something happen to you. That's what I'm asking you to tell me. Now the person who the camera will give me a thumbs up if anybody said yes, they were told that. I stand for you, brother. I stand for you, police officers. I stand for all of you police officers. I'm seeing police officers on the square, and I want to inform them standing for you.
For children? Whose children? My children?
Y'all spread out, please. You don't stand so close to each other. Spread out. I stand for all of you. I stand for you, officers. Why am I doing this? Because I'm trying to prevent person from having a reaction that would not be right. Or you would deem that is wrong. I stand for you, brother. I stand for you. Mr. President, I don't know if you know it, but workers from the Ministry of Public Health who serve faithfully without a vaccine are sent home today. I hope that there's some degree of consideration left that would lead you to reassess this decision made.
They go on social
May I
media.
have my tablet, please? The tablet.
Social media as it relates to the pandemic. So people are not getting, where do you get the sources? And this is just me part of your
Yes. I stand for you.
How many people even watching on television? Huh? How many people? And then there's only one set of people because now we do that is Guyana. When they appear with what men they support is what when people do what men they support is what you can't run away from the fact. Stop, this time, of course, I'm 30 minutes. And all the time, how much data, how much data. I'm thinking that it could be but what I'm saying is, don't have
I stand for all of y'all.
I know some people be whole life, but I don't trust them. Who are you to know come from out of nowhere to tell me that's when I've been doing something from prayer. That's when I've been doing something from prayer. I understand and understand.
In a few moments, I will read for you. I'll read for you from the World Health Organization's website a caveat. Mandatory vaccination and ethical considerations and caveats. I don't know if they'll be able to see it. But I'll read this for you. How can a Minister of Health tell you that the government testing sites will not be used to test you. Who built, whose money paid for it? We are taxpayers. We paid for you to establish or build these sites in the name of testing us for COVID-19. And now you're telling us that you're not going to do it? So you're sending a public servant to a private entity to be tested? And you call that fairness? How can you have a case in which you spend taxpayers' money, the nurses' money, the public health workers' employees' money? You spend it to build or to establish or to construct testing facilities in Guyana for COVID-19, then tell the same people whose money you used to build it that you're not spending it on them because vaccines are cheaper. So we worth nothing? That's what you're saying to me? That a healthcare worker who worked through all this pandemic is not worth $100 per test? Mr. President, I'm asking you to remove Frank Anthony from office. This is wrong. I don't see any member from the Human Rights Association. I'm looking for you all. Because you stand for many other things, I'm looking for you today. Or whenever you come out.
Carry out an experiment. Carry out let one of the reporters go and check the forces that are affected after the information.
Are you prepared as a government, by law, to provide assistance to persons who are unemployed, or you're telling because they didn't take the vaccine and they lose their job, you will not give them assistance either? Are you desirous of creating a criminal society? What do you expect fathers to do if they're hungry? If their children are hungry, these people have families to feed. They have to pay their rent. Some have to pay mortgage. How can you just send them home? I stand today in grief. I am grieving for my nation because I never expected this to happen to us. I stand in grief. I say again, I am grieving for my nation. And I will read for you from the World Health Organization the facts. The World Health Organization issued a mandatory vaccination ethical consideration and caveat. And this is what they said. What does mandatory vaccination entail? This from the World Health Organization that you said advises you or your decisions. Contemporary forms of mandatory vaccination compel vaccination by direct or indirect threats of imposing restrictions in cases of non-compliance. Typically, mandatory vaccination policies permit a limited number of exceptions recognized by legitimate authorities. So you have to scrutinize the population to say, do you have a heart condition? Do you have a respiratory issue? Do you have some underlying issue? They said you have to eliminate certain people from mandatory vaccination. Are you weak? Are you obese? Are you diabetic? Listen to this, what it said. Despite its name, mandatory vaccination is not truly compulsory. This from the World Health Organization here. That is force or threat of criminal sanction are not used in cases of non-compliance. What did you tell the police officers? What did you tell the soldiers? If you tell a man you're not going to pay him a salary today, you are forcing him to take the vaccine. I must read for you what they said regarding sufficient evidence of safety. The World Health Organization said that data should be available that demonstrate that the vaccine has been mandated or being mandated, has been found to be safe in the populations for whom the vaccine is to be mandated. When safety data are lacking, or when they suggest that risks associated with vaccination outweigh the risk of harm without the vaccine, the mandate would not be ethically justified. Part 7 says, in the absence of sufficient evidence of safety, there would be no guarantee that mandating vaccination will achieve the goal of public health. Furthermore, coercive exposure of populations to potentially harmful product would violate ethical obligation to protect them. The World Health Organization advised that while you're being vaccinated, your Ministry of Health is supposed to take records and collect data of your reaction. I hope it rains. Imagine these people tell you that. They said that the best approach before you venture into vaccination is education, not threat of unemployment and disciplinary actions. This is wrong, and I continue to say this is wrong on a human rights level. And I take note of the silence of the ambassador, Sarah Ann Lynch, the silence of the British High Commissioner, the silence of all of you. I take note of the silence of Carrie Cum. You were very loud in our election turmoil. But you're quiet now when we are faced with these issues. I will continue to stand with my brothers and my sisters. People, we have the right. We have the right. You are advised by your superiors in some cases that you go home today. That the worker this morning from right across the road here, go home. He reported for duty. Where is the union? Where is the nurses union? He reported for duty and you sent him back home.
What time do you finish this? So you want to get placard and come?
I'll be here for another hour. He reported for work and you sent him home. Now, which labor law? Where is Mr. Joe Hamilton? Where is Mr. Joseph Hamilton? I'm asking you, the Minister of Labor, to come here and tell the people or go live, whatever you have to do. Tell us, which labor law states that if I report for work, you could send me home and cut my pay? If I simply say that I do not want to take a vaccine. I stand with you, brother. Guyanese, this is wrong. Rain or shine, I will stand out here because this is entirely wrong. You're taking people's right to eat away from them. A man has a right to earn an honest living, you take it away from him this morning. While you are paid as a minister in government taxpayers' money. Imagine you report for work and somebody send you home because you want to exercise your right, as is given to you by a United Nations covenant that your country is signed to. How are you doing? The rain doesn't bother me. In this case, rain or shine, I'm standing here. The wrong is wrong. This rain may be a sign of what's happening over Guyana. Something is wrong. People haven't recovered yet financially because of the skyrocketing of prices in fruits and vegetables, and you come now to send them home this morning from the Ministry of Public Health. Look who you all sent home this morning. The people you locked them out to the gate or the compound. Is this Guyana?
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Is this Guyana? You lock an employee out of their place of work and say that you're going to terminate their employment?
Correct.
Bar Association, I hope that one of y'all could watch me this morning. Please, there has to be some legal recourse. Y'all defend a whole lot of people. Defend this set. I don't even know if we have Human Rights Association anymore in Guyana. Don't you have people have to go and line up over there because they want to go to work? What happened to the right of the average Guyanese? Do we have any rights any longer in this country to say what we want? It's a sad day in this country. You could run out of rain. I stand right here. I'm all right. I could take it. How can you, with any degree of conscience, threaten a police officer's employment when you know their salary scale already? When you know that the average soldier, the average corporal or lance corporal does not earn $300,000 a month? You threaten their livelihood. And we don't have the right to talk? I am not anti-vaccine. I am anti-discrimination. I am against dictatorship. That's what I'm against. I am violating people's human rights. That's what I'm against.
No, a young man left his car. He said, you know, when
Okay.
I see
Now you're telling me that I should write a COVID task force to ask for permission to stand out here to speak in the speaker. When you ask, what does it make sense to you? The people who are encouraging vaccination and everything else, I should ask them permission to do it when they tell you no? Guyana is not a police state. We will not return to that anymore. I am here. And I'm here further because I have read in the news and I've heard the president say that as long as and the Minister of Education, as long as you get the vaccine for children, then it's expected that every child will be vaccinated. Okay then. So you start with parents. Then you tell the parents that once you get the vaccine, We don't have a choice with our children either. When they've said that there is no significant threat to children. You should have mathematicians ask me, saying should know mathematics. Out of over 23,000 cases, you said 1,500 children. What's the percentage of that? Is that an alarming percentage? Mr. President, history does not weigh in your favor when you press people of this nation. History does not stand on your side when a man goes to work and you tell, or representatives of your tell him to go home unless you do what he says. He does what you say. That is not good for the history of a country. You demoralize your workforce. People lose confidence in your ability to lead them. Persons will never trust you if you remove their right to choose what is right for them. This is a sad day in Guyana. Is the red running down my placard? I hope it does good. That's good. Because our country is bleeding for real right now. And to see that persons are afraid in some instances to even stand for what is right regarding their own bodies has brought Guyana to a new low. Those of you who have not taken note, we have transitioned from an ethnically divided nation to one divided on vaccination. Because those of you who are vaccinated, some of you I should say, are behaving as though we're the scourge of the earth. One day this will all be over. My brothers and my sisters, one day this will all be over. Oh my goodness. I can't go to work. Man, something wrong. But it can't come. Can't come.
And it's sad. You're supposed to tell a human being what they're supposed to do with their body. And the same class living high in this country is one.
And you're sending home from work.
Since they take office, public service and get nothing, not even a 0.1. They don't get no increase in salary. Everything is to market expensive. Then you want to tell them to go to PCR test?
They must pay.
And they must pay when the laws of the country clearly say the private business or the private company
must stand the expense.
And yet the ministry living over clearly and debunk the nonsense the private sector say. So it is like a double whammy.
Sad. Very sad.
This is ridiculous. You have a Minister of Health who's willing to tell me the cost of the PCR test. Now you bad like that. You're willing to quote the cost to your underpaid workers. Man, something is wrong here. The persons who got a pink slip during your COVID relief, they got no help because they didn't own the house. Those same people may be public servants. I am grieving
it, but it can't come out. This man at the Ministry of Public Works can set the gate like for them to go in.
Can't go into work. They cannot go to work.
Don't send them all separate their office. Then they can just question them. This is beyond the little politics. This is about human beings and Guyanese.
Exactly. Exactly.
This is beyond the race thing and the politics thing. You know? These are people you tell.
As a nation, you could do this to your people, and then you could just shrug your shoulder, "Hey, I'll take the vaccine." What is wrong with you people? You're just so casual about somebody's well-being here, as if they don't have to eat. Have you forgotten that taxpayers pay for whatever benefits you have as a minister?
I think one of the saddest things during this time here is that people see this opportunity and everybody who speaks or stands up against mandatory vaccination, all you're hearing is, oh, it's politically motivated.
Exactly.
Oh, they anti this, they anti that. We have got to move away from that place.
If we don't move beyond
If a
this.
particular body, be it APNU or PTVP that says something, and you have a contrary view, it's because you're anti them.
Yes.
I mean, what level of nonsense is that?
We are a society.
Why am I not allowed to think
Exactly.
independently?
We have to have independent thinkers. A nation can never develop if a different view is seen as an attack. How can we grow if whenever somebody says something, I'm sure you haven't told me this morning, oh, he's at New FC. You could label me whatever you want. I am pro-Guyanese.
Right. This is way beyond politics. This is a missed opportunity to unite Guyana.
Of course.
You understand me? In a time like this, when people have so many struggles, some people are dealing with depression, they have lost loved ones.
Yes.
And you mean to tell me that you can just send somebody home and say I have nothing to give you until you come back here with a vaccination
Man,
card?
listen
What
here.
nonsense is that?
Listen, man.
What nonsense is that? What are you doing to people?
This is crazy. I wish that somebody in 2 hours would touch me and say, oh man, my chest said, Daddy, get up. You've been dreaming all the time. It was a bad dream you had. This is almost unreal. What if a father had died of COVID? His wife is now working for Ministry of Public Health. And she said, I don't want to take the vaccine. You send her home. How will the children eat?
They don't care.
You have to consider as many possibilities before you make a decision. That's how you function.
Weekend, you say, listen, you can't go into government buildings and so on.
One
then
week.
by Monday, by Tuesday, because
Two-
Monday was all.
right.
You send people home.
This is crazy.
Even if somebody was considering it, you didn't give people a chance.
This is the case, and because these parties didn't even go to work. Knowing the struggles that
This is
majority Guyanese living
this
under.
is crazy.
And so many people struggling. So many people struggling. You have to take a different approach. This cannot be the approach. And then you start off by telling us it's not mandatory.
That's what you said. It would not be.
Right?
That's what you said.
So what place are we at now? What place
That
are
is the
we at
level of
now?
hypocrisy.
When you say, listen, you cannot fly your trade, you cannot work taxi, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, unless
You can't even serve the public.
no provisions is made for persons with health conditions. No provisions made for persons who it may be against their religion.
None.
What provisions do we have for those people? Is that not another violation of their rights? Because you say we have a right to our religion, and then you say to me that if your religion says this, you don't have a right to that.
No.
What
You go home.
madness is that? What madness is that?
Further to that, the confidentiality regarding my vaccination is my right. I'm not supposed to have any vaccine ID in Guyana. I'm not supposed to be walking around this country unless you change the law. If I visit a healthcare practitioner, that's my business. No, I have to now go and advertise across the world. Look, look. And that's what some of you doing. Okay, fine. You want to do that, do it. But don't tell me that I'm an enemy of the state because I don't do it. What if a man takes a chance to do it because his religion says he shouldn't do it? But he has to feed his family. How can he go back to those people? You must have extensive considerations before you make certain decisions. It's obvious that you didn't consider all the parameters here. Revisit them. Somebody could have had an appointment last week to see somebody this week. I mean, 1 day, 2 days, you tell him, hey, get a vaccine or pay $20,000 for PCR test or what?
Every 3 days.
Shalom, sis. Good to see you.
Not even one time the Johnny's take the PCR test. Every 3 days you gotta find 20 grand.
Every 3 days. This caring government is telling a Guyanese that you must find $20,000 every 3 days. Every 3 days, not 3 weeks.
You have to respect people. In the first place, I believe people need to come to a place where they recognize that the power is in the people.
Yes.
Because you cannot get to office unless the people
Put you there.
So you have to, at some point, acknowledge and respect the people.
But think about it. Guyana for so long. If you come out here and you get employed with the government,
They mark you up.
you're the afternoon.
You're marked.
And you cannot continue.
No.
Or you're going to be demoted and you're going to be terminated.
Yes.
That's it. That's the end of you.
That's the truth.
And I'm telling the people of this country, that is why we are where we are, because we will continue to get used by politicians in this country.
All the time.
Because let's say this kind of issue, we want to see people of all race and
Every race.
out here and stand up.
Exactly.
Similarly, with the increase of salaries, every single guy is supposed to come out and demand that increase as was promised to them. That is when you're going to see government acting the way they're supposed
Yes.
to act. But because you're the Indian, you're going to stay and see an Indian president doing nonsense. And similarly, when I have an African president, Africans just don't see you doing them nonsense.
Just gotta
That's
stop.
why they keep using both of us
Yes.
all the time. You understand? That is our problem.
That's our problem. It's a divided society and only one set of people benefiting from this.
Yeah, but this is another opportunity that is being used to
Further divide us.
And it's unacceptable.
And now we need being divided by class. Because some of y'all believe that you are elites in Guyana. So you're above the law. I hope that the Attorney General can speak to us about this matter. Let me hear how legal this is. Bless you, brother.
Imagine that community become around the race. This is the first church.
But you know,
Thank you, my brother. Oh, God.
No other church standing up, and not too long from now. Not too long from now, they will go to church. And they do not. Your members do not take this.
Exactly. They can't come.
That's exactly what will happen. So all of them who want to collect the collection,
You understand me? Then you collect nothing. Because when I go to church, with the vaccine card, I ain't checking none, the children ain't checking none. You understand me?
That's your right. That's your right to take or not to take.
And I left the so-called churches. None ain't coming out. None ain't coming out. None ain't coming out. You understand me? None ain't coming out. This is just a test, you know. For one Mexican, this is just a test. And look, one pastor of stand up in the rain for this. Much more to come, you can tell them I'm not coming out. I gotta go,
Thank you, brother.
I compliment this pastor. I got him on the African church. He needs the whole
Let us leave.
All of them in the church, they're sitting and they're getting a fat salary.
That's fair money, pay them for it.
But I am telling you, they are going to go in the church.
It's just a matter of time.
Just now, nothing else come down.
You're going to lose all of your rights. Don't, hold on.
Everybody talking for them. Everybody talking for them.
I ain't putting that in me. I ain't putting that in me. And they tell you it's alright. It's alright to put it in you. One man stand up for talking. A lot of people are saying, what's going on?
This struggle can't end. The people being weak and afraid. This is, you may say, well, why am I standing in the rain? Because this is beyond convenience. There's not about convenience and comfort. This struggle is beyond my being dry.
I mean, look how many people still here. And that speaks volume.
Oh, wow.
People are coming. People are coming regardless.
Guyanese understand. Guyanese stand. As you heard the man say, pastors are telling you all when you come your way.
Where is the church? What happened to all them organizations, all the human rights organizations? You don't hear one of them. Everybody's standing up for human rights and the this and the that.
But
Where you now?
Where you all now?
Why you not saying anything?
The people advise you all from the highest level of the world in terms of medical health that you should not force you to take a vaccine if you're not accountable.
What's in London? I would also like to commend those nurses and doctors who are across there right now protesting.
Yes, I
and
commend
standing up
them.
against.
I commend
And
them.
standing up against
I commend them.
mandatory vaccination.
I commend them.
We had so many nurses and doctors who contracted COVID. And they did whatever was necessary, whatever was
That's
prescribed,
right.
and they're back at work. If the
And
people
now-
choose not to be vaccinated, then that is their right.
And look what we're doing to them now.
We have rights.
You're wrong, man. Truly.
These same people that want us to take this job are the same people that tell away. The same people tell away that this is your body. And
Yes.
if you want to do an abortion,
It's your body, your
it's
choice.
your body.
Same people.
The same people.
Same
And you
people.
are telling me that I cannot tell you that I don't want to just
Crazy.
my body. Yet you are telling me I can stand up to my husband and say I can go to help and abortion? Woman to the now. I feel God and not man.
It is contradictory in nature.
Yes.
Very, very contradictory.
Same people. Same people. Who are they, man?
People went to work.
Wickedness.
Guyanese, like y'all ain't hearing me.
Wickedness.
People show up to work today and you lock them out to the compound.
Yes.
This is dictatorship. I hope that you can hear me. I'm telling you again, one day this will all be over. COVID ain't gonna last forever. And the same people you treat like this are gonna have to vote. One day this is gonna be over.
This is a war thing.
You told the business owners in certain restaurants and stuff only 40%. First was 25, whatever percent. Now you tell them only 40% fully vaccinated, so who can go and eat in them blend? You are taking away a person's livelihood in the name of a vaccine,
This is not a vaccine.
and the people told y'all that they're breakthrough cases. You could still be infected. You said at the stadium with the cricket, good, that's why they didn't wash you all out again. You said only fully vaccinated people could go and enjoy cricket. When the human rights have a right to enjoyment. And in the stadium, all of y'all wearing masks and you're vaccinated. What does that tell me?
That's the truth.
What does that tell me about the efficacy? You told me that if I take the vaccine, I would not contract COVID-19. That's what you said at the beginning. Then you said I could still contract it. But you're forcing people to go to work to take it, or they go home. As a man said, I'm looking for the pastors in Georgetown. Y'all got a Georgetown Ministers Fellowship. Where are you? Some of your members got sent home, so you won't get your tithes anymore. Because you said they have to pay from their earnings, from their gross, not their net. So when these workers gone home and they're from your church, how you can get money?
And these same people, what is that cost to go to work? And they're paying big tax to church.
You're wrong. But if ever, I could never believe Guyana could come to this, honestly speaking. And I tell you, I don't support political party. But you said Granger is a dictator, and he never did this. So who was the dictator then? Who is really dictating to people in Guyana what they can do and cannot do?
The superpowers, powers that the place is taken to the entire world.
Small nations were told that the vaccines that are rejected in the USA will be sent to you. Joe Biden said that the vaccines that the FDA disapprove of will give to y'all. And you tell me that I have to take it or I get fired? Guyana, y'all, we have to unite. We have to unite for this, because if y'all let this opportunity pass you by, I promise you, they'll bring something else down your throat. Worse than this. You see the day they begin to tell you that you cannot enter a supermarket to buy food without a vaccine, or you cannot send a child to school without a vaccine, or you cannot go to the bank without a vaccine, or you can't go Western Union or MoneyGram without a vaccine, then some of y'all gonna wake up. Or granny can't get a pension, because only money could open some of your eyes. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Y'all keep playing around. I can see me. I could get wet, but don't worry, rain don't kill. I've never had a rain kill a human being unless it's a flood. That's all right. I'm good, thank you so much. And I even appreciate the fact that there are young people out here. They're teenagers who understand what the deal is. And some of you are grown people who are free, can't talk. I say to you again, I prefer to be a dead man than be a father whose children must watch him crumble and be a weakling. One day this will all be over. This is not politics. This is no party assembly. These are people who are concerned.
Same time to Guyana.
Do you understand that the Minister of Health, who should be the most compassionate minister in the country, said that you must spend $300 every in 6 days or 9 days, every 3 days. I must spend a total of $100 because you can't afford to give the nurses and the doctors a PCR test. So you got some private clinic somewhere who will benefit greatly.
It's a business.
And Guyanese, I can't see what's happening to y'all. When the government has the facility to test you and say, it is too expensive. Therefore, public nurses and public servants, you are deemed worthless. You ain't worth $100. Police officers, you ain't worth $100 either. Because it's too expensive for them to use your money to test you. But they could take your money to pay their salary though. Some of them get $800,000 a month, tax-free. You know that? You could afford that though. You can't say like the other president who said in New Zealand, we will take a pay cut. 50% of our salary will be cut to help our people. You couldn't do that. But now $100 is too much to spend on a nurse who took care of your gardens of democracy when you got COVID. There's a saying that God doesn't sleep, and I can prove it to be so. Yahweh doesn't close his eyes. You can't oppress the poor, I tell you all that. If you oppress the poor and the needy, we're going to have a problem. Even the Bible said that if a man is hungry and he thief, you can't kill him. He must pay you back, but you can't kill a hungry man. How do you strip away a man's right? These men under that tent went to work and you send them home and tell them if they don't come back with the vaccine, you'll fire them.
Plus they ain't getting paid the time.
And they're not getting paid, and also they paid.
How are they paying the bills? How are they paying the mortgages?
You people must be crazy. You gotta be out of your minds, man.
If you're going to tout or be thing on a because you care, then at least act like you care now.
You are the most ruthless government Guyana's ever seen. And then to top it off, I am told that because I'm unvaccinated, I am worse. I am more dangerous than a virus. Mr. Ali, you've dehumanized me. You have belittled every Guyanese who's not vaccinated to being deemed trash.
And that includes children who are this time.
That includes children who are not vaccinated. You said everybody who's not vaccinated is worse than a virus. Man, you need to put me in jail for this because this is wrong. You can't disrespect me like that. My father never told me I'm worse than a virus. Who are you? How can you look at your own people and tell them that? Are they more dangerous than a virus? When you dehumanize the population, then somebody will say, okay then, yeah, those unvaccinated people, we could do what we want. Because the president said it wasn't a virus. Remember Rwanda. Remember Rwanda.
Right.
One person looked at another and said, you are a roach. And millions of people were killed because of that one statement. Now you telling your vaccinated colleagues that I am worse than a virus? I am more dangerous than a virus? And you have not even apologized to us? I don't want an apology, by the way. I am grieving. I am grieving, Guyana. Those young doctors, those young politicians and stuff, you all had them splashed across the news. They're heroes. They put their life on the line. They're on the front of the line in the fight against COVID. And now you tell those same people they don't take a vaccine, you send them home and lock them out from the... Listen, every ambulance driver, every cook at the hospital, every nurse should walk out today. All y'all just walk out and go home.
Yeah.
Let them go and run the hospital then, because they call doctor.
Yeah.
All who got doctor to their name, you go and run, deal with the patients then.
Yeah.
But those people are so caring that they're prepared to even be forced to care for patients. But y'all can't see what happens when you break the back of a man who cares about you and about people. The poor and the needy. Do you know there are people in Guyana, in some of your strongholds, who can't afford $20,000 for a test? Or you believe Guyana is Dubai, like y'all say we can be a new Dubai? You understand that people in this country can't afford?
When?
Are you out of your mind to tell me I must find $60,000 every 9 days? Which means in 2 weeks, just about, I must find $120,000. Are you out of your mind? A police officer, constable, doesn't earn $250,000 in Guyana. But if he doesn't get vaccinated, he has to pay. In 21 days, he must find $120,000 to satisfy you and your ego.
Unacceptable.
For those of you on Facebook, in the churches who say that Nigel London is angry, today your description is perfect. You are absolutely right. I am blue mad. How can a man report for work? This thing can't come out of my mind. This man report for work and you lock him out of the compound and tell him if he doesn't come back with a PCR test that's negative or take the vaccine, he'll be fired? A public servant? Do we have a public service commission in Guyana?
Yes, yes.
No, man, we can't get that because I didn't see them here.
Yes, no, they don't leave.
Do we have a union?
The whole union on leave.
Do we have a union in Guyana to represent public servants?
No, they're on leave.
No, we can't have a union. We could never have a union in Guyana. No. Something wrong here.
Not a word.
No, man. No. 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 Oh, yeah, I could spread out now because rain stop. I got to go talk to his office in a minute. Good to see you, sister. I am asking Guyana, I am serious about this. Do we have a public sector union? Is there a union in Guyana? A public service union? This is impossible. Do we have a minister responsible for the public workers?
Labor.
Public sector labor. Do we have a minister of labor in Guyana?
He on leave though.
Is he still awaiting word from the lawyers?
He on leave.
Who is your legal team that has to take 2 weeks to figure out if the employer should pay for the test? When the law said that if you're going to have a surveillance in terms of medical well-being of your staff, you must pay for it.
And the Ministry of Labour come out and talk and debunk that claim by
Well, what? This is crazy.
no representative. None whatsoever. You got to represent.
The Operational Health and Safety Act plainly states that if an employer requires an employee to be tested for any medical condition, you require it. You are supposed to pay. You have got the Minister of Labor saying he has to get advice. And your lawyers can't figure out a simple statement like that.
The right to is very straightforward. You're supposed to already debunk the claim and put the down to stand, you understand?
Yeah, but you see.
You see you in the public sector?
People always got disrespect Guyanese because we don't mean to stand up.
No.
Everybody, you're going to see you make a post on Facebook. Everybody, yes, I support and this like that. But at the home, doing absolutely nothing, viewing the live on social media and not here standing up for their own life.
If you don't do that, these people will continue to disrespect you. You understand?
Oh my.
I stand for y'all officers. The service brother. I stand for every police officer.
The whole level of dictatorship.
Let me go and talk to these officers, please. Let me go and talk to these officers. Just trust me enough for me. Don't put them on camera. Just trust me. Keep the camera to me. Don't put the officers on camera. Huh? Just keep the camera on me. I don't have you all on camera. This is on me. But I just want you to hear me. And I'm standing here today in support of you. I don't want you to be on camera. Because I understand, as sad as it is, that you, if you had a negative view of this, you couldn't do what I'm doing right now. And I stand today to say that I appreciate the fact that at least you allow me to stand and do what I'm doing. But I also understand that you can't do what I'm doing. I stand today to commit to you all as a force in Guyana that one day you'll never have to face this again. Because I stand for you, because you can't stand for yourself. I appreciate y'all officers. I appreciate y'all highly. Thank you so much. You gonna send somebody home? You gonna send somebody home, man? You gonna send a working man home? Y'all don't have a heart? You gonna send a working man home? Look me here.
If we don't take this to a different level,
something wrong about it. Thank you, my brother.
I standing up. Because the vaccine, you don't get the direction when you take it.
See, there's another story now. See, there's a whole other story now. I can't talk for that because I take it.
everybody has a different opinion on this vaccine,
Right. Get them a choice.
Telling you.
People still have a opinion over this vaccine. You're supposed to do what you're doing right now.
Inform the people. Educate.
And then at the same time you're doing this, you're taking away businesses from black people in this country. You don't like it for a lot. But when it's not for so many
There was a
years,
they're not going to get vaccine. They're not going to get vaccine.
Guyana is at a different level.
No, I ain't said that. He ain't said that. Guyanese, there's a cause, man. There's a reason. We gotta stand, man.
But then
Y'all have to stand for these workers who can't come out.
London, the people ain't coming out. I
We
expect here
understand.
to full.
That's alright. There's the right. But we still standing for them.
Here to full.
Whoever can't stand, we standing for you.
We go represent for those who come in. Don't worry with
That's alright. Now y'all let me spread. Just help me to spread the crowd. Just spread them out.
It is very
Just help me
simple.
to spread them out.
It is very simple. They are not going to
to.
vaccinate us and our children.
Thank
And
you.
it's something that we will stand and we will fight for.
Yes.
If they never seen the resistance of us, we have suffered 400 years
Yes.
on these people. These people enslave us in the economic system. Our present condition.
It's
These
because
people
of
are
them.
responsible. And I'm going to look to them to save my life.
Exactly.
Common sense. You got to use your common sense. Tell me one pharmaceutical company is government
But the
owned.
vaccine is not even
None.
saving you.
Tell me. Let one of those doctors tell me the content of the vaccine. And you tell me your text up there push in my vein.
And they're supposed to tell you.
You
can push something in my vein.
That didn't tell
I
you the
live for
content.
2 years on this planet and I never visit the hospital. I never visit the hospital. I don't even get cold. And you come tell me that you some vaccine gonna save my life and my children's life? Other man, people. If they want to get rid of us, if they want to get, they don't do it the subtle way.
No.
Come on, play
Come on, hardcore
and shoot and kill me.
Because we're not taking the
Because we're not fucking taking it.
I don't brother, no. I understand your question, but we can't lose me. We can't lose
Tell
the
them we're not taking it. And we're not allowed to vaccinate with children because we can stand and fight. Nobody touching me and my children them. Nobody touching me and my children.
Let me remind you all, because some of y'all in Guyana don't know history.
Nobody touching me and my children.
Let me remind you all in Guyana.
Nobody touching me and my children. I don't call some who say what.
Right. Some of y'all don't know history.
I don't die for that.
For 40 years.
If they don't believe, let them try vaccinate me and my children.
Let me
Then
tell
they
you.
will see story. And nobody touching me and my children.
Let us spread it to maintain the peace. Guyanese brothers and sisters,
Don't get it so much.
let me remind you of history.
Should I believe these people? These people who get us under this condition all this year. Should I listen to them?
No.
Look what these people do to us. Look, even to this government, we shouldn't believe what this government telling me.
They said it will never be mandatory. They said they will never make the vaccine mandatory.
No, but on the helm of emancipation, they're taking away your freedom.
Well, I cannot play.
Could you imagine that?
I cannot play.
You're taking away people's rights and then I must come and celebrate freedom and you take me one damn right? What the hell?
Guyanese, I want to remind you all of history. For 40 years, the same USA injected African men with syphilis to see how they react if they're not treated, and told them they're giving them free health care for 40 years. And they only found out about that because one of the people in the scientific field said, man, you're wrong. I can't keep doing this anymore. And when he blew the whistle, it was not until 1990 something that Bill Clinton said he was
They
sorry.
won't drink it. So why should I believe you when you make you think?
Because the president said trust me. You have to believe because the president said trust me.
Y'all let me spread out. Y'all let me spread out.
They make something and not drink it.
Just let me the people. Y'all listen because I want no story.
If you make it, what are we going to do now?
How we gonna work? How we gonna work with
How
us?
we gonna eat?
You're
How we
crazy.
gonna feed the family if you don't get vaccine?
God,
Because the vaccine not to work.
It's your body, it's your choice.
Life is unfair.
Personally,
Life is unfair.
don't believe not one of them based on what these people have done to us. Not one.
Life is unfair. If we don't take the vaccine, we can't work. How we gonna feed the family? That's what I want to know.
Listen to me, I'd rather dead.
I need to know that.
I'd rather dead. Telling people I'm home without them starving. Kill me. They're gonna get put in a price. They're gonna get bills to pay. And you shoot them at the same time. You want to pay for something, you want to kill me.
Exactly.
Look how kill me in a subtle way. Where I'm out.
Guyanese, I am appealing to you
If they don't want
to reassess what you've done.
I gotta show them resistance.
We can't send people home.
One man army will be a resistance. I show them resistance. Because I'm not afraid death. That's the part of life.
We can't send people home because they say no.
Everywhere you go for a job, they tell you, if you get no vaccine, you get vaccine, you can't work. So now you're going to thief. Because the set people who get vaccine,
Tell them
you're going to go around them to feed your family. Because if you get vaccine, you can't get 9 to 5.
I'm face me.
You can't get 9 to 5. So now, I got to see a man will take the vaccine and rob because he walking. You understand me? Because I can't walk. I can't walk because I ain't got vaccine. This is wrong. The youth them go punish. But what? It's the youth punishing, you know. It's not nobody else. It's the youth alone
you're my
punishing.
brother, you know.
I appreciate you, my brother.
You know, I got put you up on blast, you know you're my brother.
I appreciate
You know,
it. It's a big show.
It's a big show. How you feel it telling you?
I appreciate you, my brother.
Here what I tell them now. You see them people will just stand up there and pray and then run behind science the weak. All of them weak.
All them.
I was kind of back to the story of Moses.
Right.
Remember when Pharaoh said kill all the firstborn? What
Right.
Moses do? Well, in the house, market taste. All who they want here, they be now they're dead.
They get it.
And then Pharaoh's son there too.
Right.
Then he release everybody. People, are you play? Are you hearing good now? As a Muslim, he's Christian. Are you try there?
This is one Guyana.
Yeah, we don't play. We
This
don't
is
play.
one Guyana.
You do what you
Enough
want to
respect.
support.
I respect you,
Don't
man.
worry.
Thank you. Guyana, there has to be a cause.
Play there and then go to
How you gonna say, no, my mother went to work this morning? You're wrong for that, man.
Because he don't take a vaccine.
How you gonna do that to a
Feed
man
his family.
and tell him you're not going to pay him his money?
If he don't take the vaccine.
Something is wrong with you.
What you gotta do with them? Everybody stay home for 1 week.
Everybody stay home for a week. Just stay home.
Don't doubt it. Go home and stay home and pray. And watch the wicked them fall. That's what we got to do. We got to do Moses for them. If I ask the pastor, the reverend, God is not the same yesterday today.
Same, he doesn't change.
So we do that, he not do now?
Same thing.
No weakness.
The man come up, sir. Look at the church. He's the minister of everything here. Hey, Jill, he's a pastor. He's supposed to be praying for Guyana, not encouraging people to take no vaccine. Because them, all them who talk about the vaccine, none of them missing, none of them take it.
None.
They're just saying they take it. None of them are saying what, let the carry the camera and let the people see when they get them bored. They're just bluffing people and wanting to take vaccine. I can't work because they take a vaccine. So I can't feed nobody.
My brothers and my sisters, I have stood here and I will stand here again. Let the crowd finish. Oh. Yes. No.
I'm walking around. No, they're going to tell you come out and protest for your rights, for your human rights. They'll tell you come out and protest. But to protest themselves, to take a position, and when they got it, they have to tell it. They're very well, we need to understand.
Human Rights Association. Human Rights Association.
Pension, we got a pension for them, they got pension.
Human Rights Association, I'm calling on y'all.
They're walking and walking back.
The Public Service Union, I'm calling on you. Your workers are going to work and they're being told to go home or and come back with a PCR test. Or lose their pay. Or be fired. This is your workers. These are your people. I'm going to advise you all that at some point I'll establish a fund system where we can take care of those workers who get sent home. We'll give them grocery. We'll give them supplies because they ain't gonna starve. We're going to establish a system where these employees will get ration. They ain't gonna starve.
100% ration, no problem.
I'll make it public and make it known. We are going to help them with supplies to feed their family.
Correct.
Because at some point, the bottom gonna break.
It will break.
At some point.
How much more help would you take? How much more would you take? How much more?
I am grieving and I'm angry. Because y'all wrong to these people, man. Y'all are wrong. A man went to work this morning and you gonna send a man home? Come on, man, this is wrong, man. This is wrong. This is wrong, man.
Take the vaccine, they can rob and take the vaccine because they got feed for family. By the people get vaccine and no good work. Nobody else can work. What gonna happen to them people who gonna collect their pension? Them old people.
They can't go. That's just why I said they can't go.
What gonna happen to the old people who gonna collect their pension?
The pension is $25,000 a month.
Oh God.
And you saying that to get the pension, if they don't get the vaccine, they must pay $20,000 for test. If after that they gotta go to the post office or to the president's office, they must find another $20,000 for another test. So an old age pensioner must find $40,000, $60,000, $80,000 just to see some of y'all. And you telling me that you could be so unjust and Yahweh will not see y'all?
But them ain't even being reasonable.
No, man, no.
The elders in this country, they're putting pressure upon the elders and the young set.
No, man.
They ain't even putting the pressure upon the young set.
Everybody.
They're putting the pressure upon the old and the young. And that is wrong. That is totally wrong.
And then you're going to tell me?
Put this man for your toe.
Then you're going to tell me that I can't hold y'all accountable if I get sick?
This is just saying I'm down there. And this mother took the vaccine. And she had no ailment. And 2 days after she started getting blood clot.
What should I?
Yeah, a couple days after she died. And right now, she don't know what to do. And he said that to me this morning. I just come out here.
Don't we have a choice?
Them got try.
Don't we have a choice? That's what you're telling me?
No, we ain't got no choice.
I am asking, don't we have a choice? I am anybody. People are free to say, I want a vaccine. They're free to say, I want a vaccine. I never tell you all that I'm mad at you for taking it. You have a choice. Now you take that away from me? You take it away from my brothers? The guy sugar workers, you are saying that they can't go to work either? So the same sugarcane workers who you fought for, you're not fighting again?
You can't go nowhere. You can't go nowhere without vaccine. So now, when your boss knock you off without the vaccine, you can't even.
How you gonna live? You can't go to labor because you ain't got money to pay.
You can't go to the hospital because you don't have the vaccine. How we gonna get ill if we don't take this vaccine now? We can't go to the hospital.
You can't go nowhere.
We can't go nowhere.
Anyway.
So then we ain't got dead at home. That is very cruel.
Yes, so you got to get
You gotta get vaccine, you gotta get can't go to the hospital. How we
You're
gonna do
even
now?
telling people that if they go for a job interview,
You gotta get
they gotta get vaccine. They ain't got a job. And if they can't take the vaccine,
they won't get
they must pay $20,000 for PCR test and they ain't got a job. Man, this is not cruelty, man. You can't see that you're doing something to your own people. I keep saying this for a reason. COVID-19 would not last forever. I keep telling you all that. I promise you, COVID-19 ain't gonna be around forever. It has its effect on people.
Imagine
At
right,
some point, it's gonna be finished.
the school money that they're giving away to the children. You gotta get vaccine for collect it.
Really?
And to the unfortunate parents. And to the parents that won't got nothing.
My
They can't move.
gosh.
How they taking it? How they eating? And it's 19,000. Oh my God, 19,000 if you got 2 children. Therefore you left with 18,000 when you don't pay for it for 20,000. Oh my God.
Oh my.
How we gonna live? This is sad. They gotta change the law. That's a wrong law. They gotta change the law. There's a wrong law. I ain't agreeing to that. I'm young, but I am not agreeing to that.
I can't agree to that. You can't force people like this. You're wrong. You can't take away a man's job.
Look, why should I take a vaccine I knows nothing about? The people them that claiming, the people them that encouraging us to take this vaccine, none of them ain't come for live television yet with a vaccine card and say I take the vaccine. They're just advising us to take it because they already get paid to do a job. To say they take vaccine.
Who knows?
Yeah, the vaccine card from downstairs and get it up in my name.
Right.
Yeah, because I could go and undermine just like them.
Some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people
All the time. That's correct. No.
The medical industry has been experimenting on black too long. We're out of slavery. We're out of slavery. We're not being experimented on any longer.
No.
They can't even say the ingredients of this vaccine.
And the World Health Organization said it's supposed to.
And not just that, it's different places making this one vaccine. Different countries. And the vaccine have different names.
Yes.
Now, why would I want to take something that don't have one standard name? I am not sure. But I don't want
either.
it.
I don't know
I don't
either.
want to die.
And it's common sense. If this vaccine is programmed in your body to produce spike protein,
Exactly.
you're producing the virus. So you now become a walking virus because you're producing the virus.
And they claim it
your
no.
body will find some way to shed the virus, therefore infecting other people. That is why today 74% of the fully vaccinated persons are the ones
In Massachusetts. Yes, they found that out.
This is CDC information.
Yes.
I am not taking no virus. All of the instruments that the gynecologists use today, these instruments were practiced on black slaves,
Yes.
black female slaves.
That's a fact.
Now you tell me today that I should trust these people with a vaccine with my health?
No.
Not my health. I'm not taking no vaccine. And I'm
Go to the
adamant about it.
vaccine.
I am prepared to lose my job and go home. I am a man. I will provide.
Always.
I will provide.
Yes.
That's right.
Strength,
I
brother.
will provide. This vaccine, when this go into your body, you cannot be unvaccinated.
No, that's the
And
point.
no one could say,
You can't sue
whether 2
anybody.
years, whether 3 years,
What
what
will
will
happen?
happen to me? What will happen to me?
The World Health Organization said once they vaccinate you or anybody over here, you must collect data from the person. Which means they're now getting information on the vaccine.
Active experiment.
That's what the people told y'all.
Active experiment, and no one is not thinking.
And I don't have a choice.
Imagine these people got their PhD and their all of these thesis and all these things, and they simply can't understand what's going on.
But it's only in Guyana they're forcing you to take the vaccine. It's only in Guyana you're being forced to take this vaccine.
Well, the French tried it.
Only here.
The Greeks tried it.
Not mandatory, but I'm showing you it's mandatory.
Yes.
Well, we gonna show them that we ain't taking it
But
neither.
I'm showing you it's mandatory.
And we gonna show them that we
How we
ain't
control the
taking it.
government like that?
You're bullying us to take a vaccine so that we can die.
There need to be a
Right, check this, right,
government
go
in
ahead.
your
Say it.
mind.
So, I was sick for about 2 weeks, and I stay home.
Right.
So, I went and took a COVID test yesterday. Right? So, I just collect the test, and it's negative. I got no COVID. However, I've been thinking, when I go to take this test, this girl run through all these signs and symptoms. Chopo, you got this, no. Chopo, you got that, no. Chopo, everything except shortbread.
Right.
I'm suffering from dust and small because little weed they used to smoke.
Right,
Right.
right.
They look pregnant thing, right? Good. So I tell she, I say, man, I suffer from shortbread. If I run from there to the car and come back, I'm blowing hard. She said,
Right.
oh, don't worry with that. We take the test. So the test come back negative this morning.
Right.
So that means I got no signs and symptoms.
None.
However, when she done test, came into the list, I still had no signs and symptoms before the test.
Right.
So if this test that come out that I was positive, that means I would be asymptomatic.
Correct.
Good. So now, the people who got vaccine, they don't show no signs and symptoms.
No.
So they are symptomatic.
All the
So
time.
I just like the vaccinated person.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, no.
Thank you very much.
What are really telling me?
You are the same.
Y'all met me and them is the same.
Exactly because the vaccine is
If I asymptomatic, I just like the vaccine people.
That's what the CDC said.
Real, I don't know what they're telling me.
That's why they said everybody must put on a mask
Yeah.
on because
Whether or not
everybody
they got
could
it.
show signs and symptoms.
Yeah. So right now, no COVID and chopo. Sorry, I will be praying. Y'all kiss me with the sun don't shine.
Oh, gee.
Y'all want to see where?
No, don't show them it.
Oh.
No, don't show them it.
The sun don't show on my back.
Yeah, don't show them it. Don't show them it.
No, was my back, you know. Was
Oh, all right, all right.
Now, I'm trying to understand. Why are natural remedies being suppressed?
Right.
Why are natural remedies being suppressed? I've been infected with the coronavirus, and it lasts 3 days.
Me personally, right?
3 days.
Taxi driver.
All I did was eat my fruits and hydrate. And in 3 days I was okay.
Conduct business, mind the vaccine.
Now why should I go take
So
a
what you want me
vaccine?
to do?
You already have antibodies.
I already have natural immunity.
that you have a mind man. So what are you doing?
This is foolish.
Show me the
We want
places
no
where you have got
vaccine.
free unvaccinated.
They say if you
Show me the welfare in the car.
if you are on medication, you should not take the vaccine.
That's what they
And
say.
now they're still forcing you to take the vaccine.
Okay, I have something to say. If we on medication, right, we can't take this vaccine. Why? Why is it?
Why?
Why? That's the question I want to know, because if, let me say, I going through whatever it is, whatever I might go through, because everybody body different, right? So why is it, right? If I suffer from one disease, right, I can't take the COVID-19 vaccine. Why? What is going to happen to me?
They don't know.
The vaccine is supposed to protect me
Right, they don't
from
know.
having COVID.
They don't know what can happen.
What will happen? I need to find out. These are small things I want them to find and tell
And
us.
that's what I'm saying. Educate the population.
Let us know.
Educate the people. That's all you
When I
gotta
went to
do.
the doctor told us that all these symptoms that you have is the COVID symptoms. And one doctor told us that the tablets that I give to you is the COVID tablet. So the same tablet heal me along with my home remedy.
Right, right.
So they're still forcing me to take the vaccine. Now
I want you all to take note of something. Haiti had the lowest infection rate. Haiti, without the vaccine, had the lowest infection rate in the Caribbean and almost the world. When the president was assassinated, within days, vaccines went into Haiti. I am saying to you, there's reason to have distrust. That's what I'm telling you. And if I have distrust, I have a right to object.
I have the right to be.
Don't take the right away from me.
I think there's something cynical behind this vaccine. Because if this virus, 95% of the person surviving this virus,
Yes.
why did you're forcing the vaccine on everyone? I think there's something cynical behind this vaccine.
And on that note, the World Health Organization said that if you want to call a vaccine mandatory, which you shouldn't, you must first of all, tell the population about the morbidity. How many people dying? That causes an alarm.
Why do I?
You have a 95% recovery rate, or maybe great in certain instances. How is it a problem?
It is unfair.
And this vaccine doesn't even reach the requirement, the definition to be
For a vaccine, because it doesn't prevent the disease.
It's supposed to immune you from a virus. How could you still be catching the virus,
When you take a
transmitting
vaccine.
the virus,
No.
and you're calling this a vaccine?
It is not. It's an injection.
You
It
wake
is
up,
not.
right? Just imagine you wake up a morning, right, and you decided to go and take this vaccine, telling yourself and your family that we are going to be okay. And then when you get down there, you take this vaccine 2 weeks after.
You finish. You're dead.
You have coronavirus, or you start traveling from all kind of anxiety problem. What is it going to happen? You're getting nothing. You can't sue nobody. Nobody you can sue. Who is
That will be my issue. That is all I'm asking the government of Guyana to tell the people. If, all I ask you all to tell people, and I won't protest another day after this. Tell the people of Guyana that if they experience an adverse reaction to the vaccine, they get crippled, they get a blood clot, they get heart attack, or they die. Please tell the people of Guyana if we can hold you accountable.
Reaction as a man, Pastor.
Or, see, that's another story.
Reaction as a man.
Can you
Take
tell,
the vaccine.
please tell the people that you are going to be held accountable.
You're telling me over 70,000 right now in your house.
Not having erection.
Guyanese, you better stand up for this. This is wrong, man. This is wrong on every level.
Too young.
And I'm saying to you
I
again.
can't deal with my wife correctly.
All right, I'm asking you, if a man like the brother say has erectile dysfunction, can he sue you? Can he seek compensation from the government for enforcing this? That's what I'm asking you to tell me for the past week, or the past month, and the past almost year.
That ain't take the vaccine.
Oh, okay.
It is not right for people to be experimenting. The people that were developing the vaccine should take their children them and their families and experiment on them.
Thank you.
See what it is. And then, when they saw the 5 years, working on me family and okay, I could take outside on to other people. Start with your home. Have you put your children them up as Labra? Nobody anything. Come here, come.
I am not certain that people understand what is my issue this morning. I have a serious issue if you're going to tell a public servant that served you without a vaccine that today he must go home and not receive his salary because he doesn't have a vaccine. You are being unjust. How can you tell a police officer that served this country without a vaccine that now today he will not get a salary if he doesn't take it? You are wrong. Let me hide. Good see? You clean it for me?
I ain't got paper, I know. All them paper wet.
Me George, dry.
You know I got 4 eyes, I don't see good. I want to see who I'm talking to. This can't be right. This is wrong, man. This is wrong on too many levels. You do not deprive a man of his right to earn.
That's right.
No harassment, no discrimination. That's my policy. You should not deprive the police officers of the right to earn.
The soldiers.
The soldiers must not be deprived of the right to earn. The nurses, the doctors, the teachers, the private sector employees, you are wrong.
That's right. That's right. They've got the bus coming and pick you up where you're going to party.
Yes.
They got bus coming and pick you up and tell you got social distance. But they still got you carrying up in the bus.
To get money and in the minibuses.
$25,000 you gotta pay me to the station. Everybody gotta go in one station. What is wrong with these people?
Hey, I'm doing well, thanks. And you?
So, we know that the other day you had a one-man protest where you were arrested. Here you are.
I wasn't arrested.
Here you are in downtown Georgetown with I Stand Free. Can you just say exactly how you're feeling about what is going on?
I'm extremely concerned. I'm extremely upset. And it has been compounded by the fact that when I came to stand here at the Square of the Revolution, I saw an employee from the Ministry of Ministry of Health being put out of a compound and told that he must not go back to work unless he gets a vaccine, or he'll be fired. This is gross injustice. This is wrong on every human level, because the same people who serve this government and the people of Guyana throughout the pandemic before the vaccines arrived were called heroes. They were allowed to go to work. Why do this to them now? That's what I'm asking the government. How can you deprive a man of his right to earn? How can you do this to your people? Further to that, I am even more aggrieved by the fact that the Minister of Health is saying to us as a people that the taxpayers' money will not be spent on the person who helped me through the pandemic, which should be the nurses and the doctors. They can't afford to pay for them to be tested. Why must a tax-paying nurse leave a government testing facility to go to a private entity to enrich a private sector? Maybe member the Private Sector Commission. Why? When they serve so faithfully? I am simply here to announce that I am not anti-vaccination, I am anti-discrimination, and I am anti-dictatorship.
Let me tell you. So, of course, course, I would have told the Minister of Health that a lot of persons are saying that this, the way they're going about vaccination is kind of violating their human rights. And he said that a person would not lose human rights if they could contract COVID and die. What would be your response?
I am very much aware of that interview that you conducted, and it angered me even more to hear that a Minister of Health is saying that a vaccine is superior to my human right. There is no article of law, there is no declaration of the UN that says that any vaccine is superior to my human right, especially one that is for emergency use authorization, and one that I cannot hold the government liable for. If the Minister of Health cares so much about my human right, then give me the right to earn a living. At least give me that right. Give me the right to feed my family. Give a nurse the right, who worked through the pandemic, to say that she wear the same PPE and go to work.
And what would you say to any government person who is possibly watching this? What would you want to say?
To the President, to anyone even in government, reconsider. Show the people of Ghana that you have the ability to reconsider. The World Health Organization advises you that if you're going to deem a vaccine mandatory, you must focus more on education than on force. You must also, if you make it mandatory, tell the people that you are fully responsible and there's some insurance in place should there be an adverse reaction. I'm yet to hear that, and I remain concerned. Check right here. That's what he said. It's inevitable, they die anyhow.
So, if people die because he are shot in the country, what now you're fighting? What is the urgency now? What is the urgency? You're shot in the country. You take the vaccine. But the vaccine
I stand for you, brother. My brothers and my sisters across Guyana, the political leaders of Guyana, I hope that you are seeing that even if one Guyanese has an issue with this, you should give it serious consideration. You should not trample on somebody's right to work. It is a human right that you are again violating. Do we have a human rights association in Guyana? Do we have a human rights association in Guyana? Do we have a human rights association in Guyana? Are y'all still existing? Is it acceptable for you to deprive me of my right to earn a living? Are you telling me that's acceptable?
Not acceptable.
Guyana, we cannot be divided. We should not be divided when your right of your brother and your sister is being trampled upon. The right of your Guyanese, your countrymen. This is glaring, this is disrespectful.
Hello? Things no one.
I will stand for every police officer who can't stand for himself. There's not a race issue. There's not a political issue. This is a human rights issue we now have on our hand, where you're taking away a man's right to feed his family, a mother's right to feed her family. This is not a joke. This is not a joke.
This war is becoming so ridiculous that if a man could come out and say that I will identify myself as a female, they would accept it.
And he has rights.
Now, for you to say I don't want the vaccine, you're forced.
You're an enemy of the state.
That is incorrect. That is incorrect.
The vaccine.
And I've become skeptical of this vaccine when these lawyers in France, not even just scientists,
yes, child and African
came
first.
out publicly and said, let's try it on the African first.
Yes, that's on record.
Who are we, the guinea pig? You've experimented enough with us. You're not going to experiment with me and my children. This is nonsense.
I hope you heard what the young brother said, because I told you this before. Before the vaccines were approved for emergency use, the French scientists said, plainly, two of them, do not use it on us. Try it on the Africans. The Human Rights Association of the world said nothing about that. Now if you tell me that you wouldn't, and then Joe Biden said, I remind you that the vaccines that are disapproved in USA, they'll send it to us. And I have no choice in this matter.
And our politicians accept it with open hands. Open hands, they accept it. They did it already with the tetanus vaccine in Ghana.
Yes.
Now there are plenty of women in Ghana cannot produce children. They're sterilized. Now you're telling me to take a vaccine? Hell no. Hell no. If you forget your history, it will keep repeating itself.
It will.
These people have done it already. They have done it already.
It will.
They have experimented with us too long. They experimented with us with syphilis.
Yes. 40 years. For 40 years.
Came out and apologized.
And it took him 30 or more years after that to say sorry.
From these people again. These people don't change. They don't change. Look at the policy today. They don't change.
Global domination. Suppression of small nations to extract their resources.
And our politicians beg so much. Now they push the vaccine on them, they have to take it.
You have to take it.
Because they beg so much. They keep begging for money. To simply share out fire tablets. You in the country cannot do that on your own?
No. Imagine that.
Organization have to fund you?
Imagine that.
Shameful. And when you keep begging for money, they put hooks in you. Hooks like what? Like this vaccine. Now you have to give the people. I am not taking any vaccine. Nonsense.
If the government doesn't change its approach, we will have to help our brothers and sisters from the Ministry of Public Works, Ministry of Health, private sector employees. We can help them. We have to help them. Because this would not last forever. I am calling on you from every political circle in this country. Please.
I mix you up, sorry, I mix you up. But yeah, so I know you've been standing in the rain also. You know, as a young person, is this
But when you are telling us again, I'm repeating this again, when you are telling people that if you don't take the vaccine, you don't have your vaccination card, you can afford to work, you're okay. This is the fight for me, but it's a fight for public.
Come on, you got that. Huh? You got to put your camera here. No. No, you see that I've been through all these years in this country. Very people got business. People know me to talk to you. Talking to me? Yeah, man. People are saying second to talk to you. Around the people talk. Nothing you don't talk to me to come to you. Oh. Guyanese, I stand for you all. If I have to lose my voice in this and I can't talk, I stand for you all. I am grieving for you all. Soldiers in Ghana, soldiers at Soweto, soldiers wherever you are in Guyana, I am grieving for you. I grieve for you all. You send a man home. You send a father, a mother, maybe the only breadwinner in the house, you would send them home. Facebook viewers, I hope that you can see. I'm here to say to you that I will be here. I'll be in Linden. I'll be in Berbice. I'll go to every inch of Guyana if I have to let the people here know that I stand for you all. You were given specific guidelines that you are supposed to inform people of the contents of the vaccine, and you're supposed to inquire as to whether they are allergic to any. You haven't done so. Everybody asks, they haven't even heard about that. You're supposed to monitor people for half an hour. You are supposed to collect data afterwards because it's an experiment. And based on the data collected from Guyana and across the world, then they'll decide on which vaccine is most efficacious and which vaccine is most trustworthy to be deemed fully approved. In the midst of that, you're telling a man he'll be fired from his job if he doesn't know what you say. Well, Guyana can't be the same anymore after this. It's my choice. Just after a flood, you give rice farmers money, you give kitchen garden people, subsistence farmers money, you give the cattle farmers money. Did you get a small man money? Because you have to be paying the high prices of the market? No. But the same small man who's working in these places, you tell go home? I am asking the minister in government and the minister of finance to explain to me, how can I as a taxpayer, my taxes help to pay you, but I can't come to see you unless I pay a private sector agency to test me. You tell me that as a nurse, how that's fair. Tell me as a doctor, how that's fair. Tell me how it's fair. How is it fair for the doctors and nurses who pay you taxes to be locked out? The drivers, the janitors, the chefs, the janitors. How is it fair for the people who pay you your salary or contribute to your salary to be told they don't have access to work?
President, the leader of the country, is doing it. And then, previously, you had the public service that has been working for years. When COVID was out there, was putting the lives at risk. Starting you and serving people of this country. But now, you have a vaccine that they don't stay without, and you're telling them they either take it and stay without the How ungrateful and unreasonable is that? My fight out here is that this is politics and grace and really we're out here for basic human rights. We're right for every Guyanese state, whether or not they want to save the country. If we're not sure of the
This is unbelievable. I am grieving. Guyana, I am grieving. Guyana, I am grieving. Guyana, something is wrong, man. You can't be so quiet about being disrespected like this. Something is... What are you afraid of? If they send you home from work, you're still not earning anything, so at least. This must unite Guyanese beyond the politics. Unite us for a cause. Not for a result, who win and who lose. Unite us for a cause. The cause, I don't drive taxi. I do not drive a minibus. I don't meet people in person in our church. But there's a cause. There's a reason for this. It's impossible to justify this on any level. There has to be a cause. There has to be a reason why you unite as a people. How am I your enemy if I ask for you to have a choice? If more so, I'm asking for you to do what the World Health Organization said you should do. What the United Nations, according to your signature, you signed onto a covenant, a treaty, that you will never do this to your people. There has to be a reason why you stand.
Our body,
Our choice.
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 our body.
Our choice.
We will not be bullied. We will not
Be bullied.
We will not
Be bullied.
We will not
Be bullied.
We will not
Be bullied.
We will not bullied. Our body,
Our choice.
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 our body.
Our choice.
We will not
Be bullied.
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 Our body,
Our choice.
our body,
Our choice.
our body,
Our choice.
our body,
Our choice.
our body.
Our choice.
We will not
Be bullied.
We will not be bullied. We will not be bullied. We will not be bullied. Our body. Our choice. Our body. Our choice. Our body. Our choice. Our body.
Our choice.
Our body. Our choice. Our body. Our choice. We will not be bullied. We will not be bullied. We will not. We will not be bullied. 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 Our body. Our choice. 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 We will not be bullied. 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 Our body. Our choice. 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 We will not be bullied. 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 Our body. Our choice. Our body. Our choice. Our body. Our choice. Our body. Our choice. Our choice. Our choice. Our body. Our choice. We will not bully. We will not bully. We will not bully. We will not bully. Our body. Our choice. 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 We will not be bullied. 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 Our body. Our choice. 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 We will not be bullied. Be bullied. Be bullied. Our body. Our choice. Our body.
Our choice. Our body. Our choice. Our body. Our choice. Our body. Our choice. Our body. Our choice. Our body. Our choice. We will not be bullied. 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 Our body. Our choice. Our choice. Our choice. Our choice. Our choice. We will not be bullied. 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 Our body. Our choice. Our body. Our choice.